So now I'd like to welcome my next guest into the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Dave Kane, I believe, is around the corner over here, and I appreciate him coming in. Peekaboo, here you are. Welcome to the center. I appreciate you being here. So much to talk about.
Yeah.
Very much, we wanted to talk about your book.
Right.
Having lost your son in the station fire.
Yeah. Well, the point of the book is that we haven't lost him.
Yes.
The point of the book is that nobody loses anybody. The good news of this book is that we have found our son, beginning the day after the fire, started to send us signs letting us know that he was fine. And I know that a lot of people look at it and say, this poor guy, he's around the bend. But we call the show the book 41 Signs of Hope.
You want to show the cover to folks here? Okay.
41 Signs of Hope. And the reason for the 41 is that Nikki had a thing for the number 41. You get in the car with me, you see, Dad, look, it's 241. You see a license plate, Dad, 4141. And we never knew what this was. Well, when Nikki passed, he was 18 and 23 days, 41. The station nightclub is at latitude 41.41. The fire call box at the station is 4414. And on the cover of the book is a sketch of Nikki from a videotape we found a year after he passed. And in the videotape, his mom's holding him. He's about 4 months old. He has a little baseball uniform on, and the number on the cap is 41.
Oh my goodness. All these signs.
Yeah, and that was just the beginning. And then we've had thousands of other signs and thousands of things. I did an interview on YouTube with a guy by the name of Bob Olson, and we've had over 150,000 hits.
And this is just not the book. I mean, you're out in the community talking about this. You want to bring this story
to
people.
There's a presentation called 41 Signs of Hope. I couldn't think of a good name, so I thought of that one. And I do the presentation for free for any organization who would like a speaker, who would like to know about this, who themselves have had signs. We've had signs, and we don't recognize it. We go, oh, what a coincidence. Oh, and then we find out, oh, wait a minute. Maybe there's something to this.
So is it really to tell folks, keep everything open to what someone might be telling you?
Yeah, stay open and don't put it in your head that your loved one has gone. Your loved one has not gone. You're thinking about your Aunt Tilly and you're driving to Stop and Shop. Can I plug Stop and Shop? You're driving to Stop and Shop. And when you walk in, her favorite song is playing on music. That's not a coincidence. That's Aunt Tilly saying she's thinking of you too. And these are the things that we need to be open to. And some of them are more, outlandish than others. My wife was driving home the other day, and they had one of those portable radar units up, showing you how fast you're going. Mm-hmm. She was right behind a car. That car went by 26 miles an hour. She went by 41. And so there's thousands of things, some bigger than others. But to get the little ones and to embrace them and to openly say, okay, I know that's you. Thank you. I love you.
And as we talked before you came on the show, Dave, you wanted to talk about the book. You said you want us to be uplifting and inspiring.
I want people to know that this is good news. When I do my talk, I talk about Nick having passed in the 4th largest nightclub fire in the country's history. And I say that's the saddest thing you're going to hear me say all night, because the rest of the show is good news. It's all about the good news. And just before I leave, you let me know about my time, and just before I leave, I'll tell you one great story that I think you'll like.
Oh, I will. I always keep tabs on it. We've got we've got quite a bit of time.
Well, I'm an OTV guy, so
where can folks get the book?
They can. It's an ebook. First of all, Amazon, and they can buy it right now at Barrington Books in both Barrington and Cranston, and Barnes & Noble in Warwick and Smithfield.
Okay.
And all the money from the book goes to the Station Fire Memorial Foundation.
And talk to us about the memorial.
Well, the memorial is really coming along. On May 21st, we're going to have the dedication. We'd love to have you come and join us. We are working diligently to get everything done for that day. It's beautiful. It certainly is a great improvement over the makeshift memorial that we had. And you'll see, the most important part of this is not, the people, remembering the people that passed, because we're going to remember them.
Yes.
It's not for the people who were seriously injured. They have mirrors. They know what's happened. This memorial, in my opinion, is to remind people of what happens when elected and public safety officials don't do their job.
And you continue to be very vigilant in that regard. I often reach out to you when things happen here in the state. We did the unfortunate fire that occurred out in California.
Yep.
Asked you, where do you think we currently stand here in 2017 versus where we were at with the station fire?
Hasn't changed a bit. Not a bit. No. They're still looking the other way. They're still cheating. They're still. It's astounding, and nobody is. And a lot of the people who would pressure the people to do the right thing are being stopped. Police officers who are in charge of capacity are being discouraged from blowing the whistle, and a whole bunch of other things. So nothing has really changed.
So what do you encourage folks to do? Again, if someone's not up at the State House lobbying, or is it just to tell people or make people aware of things that they might see of someplace with overcrowding, or of someplace that they have concerns? Is it to raise concerns?
Yeah, well, I'm an extremist. So I mean, I wouldn't be short of pulling the fire alarm personally. But that's, you go up and you say to the person, you have 12 seconds to tell everybody they need to get out of this building, or so many people have to get out of it, or I'm going to call the cops.
Okay.
I mean, you've got to make something happen. Remember, right after the fire, if you went to Trinity, before they started the show, they told you where the exits are.
Yep.
If you notice now, there's less of that. It's going down and down. It's kind of like when you're at the site, the station site, and when you're leaving, you see it in your rearview mirror, and the further you drive, the smaller it gets, and eventually it's out of your sight. And that's what's happened with this. We want people to remember what this was all about and how we can save the lives of our children and our grandchildren more. It's really important.
And with the memorial dedication coming up, talk to us a little bit about that. As you said, it's mostly for the families. Do you see other sort of awareness events? Is it?
Well, that's what we're hoping, that people will realize that that's why this memorial is there, to tell the story of what happened. And I mean, we have a dedication to the first responders and the clergy and the lay people who came out. But we want people to know that the reason all of this happened is because people didn't do their jobs. And people need to speak up and put their foot down and make sure that we're protected. That's really the coup.
And here we are again, 2017. This was a long time coming to get the memorial.
It took a long time because first there was litigation for 7 years. The land was tied up in escrow. We couldn't do it then. And then the previous owners who had promised to give us the land decided maybe not. And it took me another 3 years to get other people to get involved and to get this done. And we finally once we got the land in our hands, then we could do it. But by that time, a lot of people who would have given money have moved on. And so, but now we're doing good. Now we've got a lot of stuff, and we're going to keep jumping on it.
We're going to keep bringing awareness to this. Again, the dedication is coming up. The book, the ebook, you can buy the paper copy.
Yep.
And as you said, I saw that, this is something that you want to bring. You do a speaking.
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint presentation, and I show the evidence of, there are stories you won't believe, and I show evidence on a big screen. I show a picture of my son standing behind my wife 2.5 years after the fire on Thanksgiving, and it's a photo that somebody took, and he was standing behind her. I'll tell you that story now.
Yes, I love the story.
My wife worried that Nicky suffered in the blaze. She worried that he felt the flames that drove her nuts. And every medium we went to said no pain. That was the phrase they used, no pain. When we asked, they said no pain. When we didn't ask, they said no pain. One day we were tagging a Christmas tree, about 6 years ago, we're tagging a Christmas tree. Nick loved doing that, so we did it. And she was in that mode. And being the kind, gentle, loving husband that I am, I was screaming at her, saying to her, come on, when are you going to get it? How many times has this kid got to tell you? No pain, every medium. Robert Brown, no pain. Roland Comtois, no pain. Cindy Gilman, no pain. When are you going to get it? No pain. We get in the car and we're going up Great Neck Hill Road in Lincoln. And I say to her, for God's sakes, Joanne, what do you want him to do? Put it in writing. And as soon as I said that, a car coming from the other direction had the vanity plate, no pain.
No, I was expecting a 41 signal actually had.
No, wow. No pain. And it is owned by an anesthesiologist who lives in Lincoln. And
you tracked him down.
I did. I tracked him down and I told him the story, and he gave us permission
to use the picture of the plate.
So
you said, what do you want? Do you want it in writing?
Yeah, it's really cool. You can see it. Now, the other thing, if you want to get the book too, if you can also go to my website, davekane.net. Kane, davekane.net. You can buy a hardcover too. But I'd like to have you go into the Barrington Books or to Barnes & Noble and get it.
And buy the hard copy of this. Now, you've got some things coming up, and I said we were just going to do a teaser about summertime at the Ocean State Theater.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be, my friend, Father Misgivings, is going to be appearing at the Ocean State Theater, and I drive him in, and he does his homily.
Yes.
I sit in the kitchen, have some leftovers, and then I drive him home.
And then you come home. Yeah. Dates, what are we talking about?
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Is for the Ocean State Fair.
And talk to us, I just want to hear a little bit about how you came to come up with this character, come up with this show.
I was producing, right down the street, I was producing the Charlie Jeffords radio show, and he wasn't getting many calls, he was doing talk. And so I called him up from another room with an Irish accent and told him I was a priest. And he started to ad-lib, and he threw questions at me, and I'd ad-lib back. You know, we'd have some fun, and it started to grow. And then one day he said to me, "Father, I don't think I know your name." And I said, I didn't have a name. And all I could remember was Barry Fitzgerald. You're too young to remember Going My Way, the movie Going My Way. But in it, this guy, Barry Fitzgerald, the actor, played the pastor, and his name was Fitzgibbons. And the only word I could think of was misgivings. And so I said, my name is Father Patrick Aloysius Misgivings. And from that went on from there.
And he was in on the joke do you think?
At first he wasn't sure, because I called him like.
Oh, I wanted that. Okay, that's what I was going to ask for next.
Yes, I wanted to find out if he knew exactly who I was. And I told him I wanted to buy. Well, I can't tell that. I can't do that joke anyway. So we had a good time with it, and I'm still doing it. And that was. Well, that was 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
The Irish accent, you know, do you just have a talent for mimicry?
Well, yeah, but that was my mother's.
Oh,
my
you just
accent.
tapped into your mother.
Yeah, of course. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, there might be a few Irish floating around here. I would get the Irish sense of humor, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But Dave, wanted you again to come in again, talk about the 41 Signs of Hope.
Yeah, great.
So many, and there just needs to be so many stories in here that
you're gonna love it, and it's great because you can pick it up, read a story, put it down, and it's.
And the 41st chapter is.
And the 41st chapter is no pain.
Is the no pain.
Yeah.
But again, you want folks to know that you are here if they want to, engage you in speaking.
It's for free. We'll be glad to come and tell you this good news, and that's what I want to tell you. And I hope you'll give me a call. Just DaveKane.net. It's real simple. All my contact information is there, and I'll come and talk for you.
Well, Dave, I appreciate your coming in today, and hopefully we'll have you in before your father misgivings.
That'd be wonderful. I'll talk to the father and
see if he's free in the upcoming.
He told me he heard your confession and fell asleep twice. So I don't know.
You've used that joke before.
Well, if you want new jokes, see somebody else. Charlie Hall says I haven't done a new joke in 40 years. So.
Yeah, Charlie Hall came on with Molly O'Brien. God, a couple of. I wouldn't want to get the two of you together. That's for sure. Oh my God, I think it would just.
We're going on a cruise.
Going on a cruise.
We're doing a cruise together, and the proceeds are going to the station.
You didn't tell me about this before you came on the show. You saved this little trip card.
Well, yeah, we're going on a cruise in October, and if anybody wants to know details, they can check with Charlie or me on my website, and we'll give you all the details.
Well, give me a little teaser. Where are you
going? We're going from Boston to Bermuda for a week in October 20th through the 26th. And Charlie and I are going to be performing, in addition to the entertainment on the ship, we're going to be doing private shows for the people that come with us. So we're going to be doing comedy shows and a little bit of a game show and drink and dabble and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, and proceeds from that also going to the stations.
And as you said, information can be found on your website.
Yep.
Tell folks again.
DaveKane.net, Kane, Dave Kane.
Like to just repeat to folks as we talked about where you can go to get more information. Yeah. Well, Dave Kane, I appreciate your coming in today to share, again, this very uplifting story, 41 Signs of Hope. So much coming up between the show, the cruise. We will have you back in to let folks know.
Right,
and of course, the memorial dedication coming up.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, Dave Kane. Thank you for coming in. Good.
Oh, well, no, you can have it.
I can. Oh, thank you so much, Dave Kane. Appreciate it again. Lost his son Nick in the station fire here. The memorial will be dedicated shortly, but he wants to bring to us and to folks to know about this 41 Signs of Hope book that he's written. Said there's an ebook, told us all the places that you can buy it here in Rhode Island, and has some things coming up. He does a comedy show as Father Misgivings, and just talked to us about a cruise he's doing with other funny man Charlie Hall coming up this October. Again, DaveKane.net. You can see more about this as, again, he's looking to inspire folks and, as he said, bring his uplifting message to people. So appreciate him coming in today to the Navigant Credit Union broadcast.